Weezy out of here. Weezy out of here.
What's going on, my angels? So today I'm going to be talking about a book that changed my life, and I feel like all books change your life in some way. Even just one sentence can stay with you forever. And the book I'm going to be talking about today is Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. And shout outs to Grass for getting me this book. So I'm going to be reading from my notes, which is why I keep looking over here. So the author Vex King is a social media influencer, writer, mind and lifestyle coach. Something to keep in mind is that Vex King is younger than your typical spiritual self-love teacher. The Power of Now's Eckhart Tolle is 73 years old, and The Secret's Rhonda Burns is 70. Oh my gosh, someone save these angels. Please, someone save these angels. Why I bring up age is that it's interesting to hear these messages in a contemporary way. The messages of Tolle and Burns are timeless, but what I appreciate about Good Vibes, Good Life is how much of an easy read it is, especially for someone like me who's only just getting into books. So this 2018 release focuses on aspects of self-love, transforming negative emotions into positive ones, and finding lasting happiness. I'm not going to be talking about all areas of the book. I'm just going to focus on the ones that truly resonated with me. So enough flirting and bantering, let's just get on to the 7 lessons I learned from Vex King. Number 1. Gossiping. Stay clear of gossip and drama. King states that everyone will find themselves taking part in gossip. I'm no exception. It's exciting to hear something juicy, then spreading it on. King states that gossiping is a great way to lower your vibration. Side note, when I talk about vibrations, I'm not really fussed on the raising or lowering of it. I try not to focus on high vibes, because then you can easily fall into the trap of thinking you're better than someone else because you're radiating at a higher frequency, which, funnily enough, lowers your vibrations. I just want to be a good person, and if my vibrator raises because of that, then hooray. King reminds us that we gossip to feel good about ourselves. It's often judgment that stems from hatred. Throughout the book, King emphasizes that every thought and word holds a powerful vibration. When we discuss negatively about others, we send that out to the universe and it reflects back on to us. The ancient Indian medical system, Ayurveda, says that gossiping affects our chakras, which is our energy centers. And I'm not even going to get into chakras right now because I'm not a professional when it comes to it, but basically gossiping, bad. Yeah, that's simply putting it. Yeah. King says that you'll notice people who spend their time gossiping are the ones who complain or find comfort in misery. So reflecting that over onto my personal life, I am and have been raised in an Asian community where the aunties are ruthless. They're always trying to figure out who's sleeping with who, comparing their children's achievements, and often they act bitter towards others' successes. The crab mentality, if you will, which is, if I can't have it, then neither can you. Which I've realized growing up in it, it's toxic and it has affected me. Even my own mother, she just randomly drops unneeded comments such as, "Oh, Janice is getting a bit chubbier now, isn't she?" Optimus Prime's girlfriend, she's a bit on the healthier side, isn't she? Is Marcus Aurelius gay? He's always seemed like it growing up. Seemingly harmless, but that is 2 reasons why I don't mess with gossip. Number 1 is I don't care. I don't care about who's getting fat. I don't care about who's in the closet. I don't care about who's going out with who. I really don't care. Number 2, it doesn't do you any good. And I'm not even talking about in the sense of lowering your vibration. I'm talking about in terms of productivity. For whatever productivity is, because I've lost the meaning of the word. Productivity can mean solving world hunger, reading a book, or spending 2 hours on YouTube watching productivity videos and not getting anything done. Honestly, I don't know what it means anymore. Someone enlighten me, please. But yeah, talking about in the sense of productivity, there are so much better things to do with your time than gossiping. Instead about gossiping about other people to make you feel good for the moment, gossip about yourself and where you can improve. Remember that what you put out to Miss Universe reflects back onto you. Number 2 is the power of words. As I've just mentioned in the last section, King emphasizes in the book the power of words and the vibration they hold. Words can hurt, help, or heal. There's power in everything you write and say. Your message is significant. be wise with it. This next bit was very mind-blowing to me. So King tells us about this experiment in the 1990s by Dr. Masaru Emoto. Dr. Emoto carried out an experiment on the impact of emotional energy in water. He wrote positive and negative words on containers full of water, and then he froze each container. So the examples of the negative words were "you fool," while positive words were love and gratitude. Dr. Emoto thought that if words were energy, and water was an observer of energy, then surely words would affect water. And he was right. The water that were exposed to positive words, such as love and gratitude, formed beautiful ice crystals, whereas water exposed to negative words formed unappealing patterns. And some of these negative words were "I hate you" and "I will kill you." So just look at the crystals formed from each of these negative and positive words. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. It is clear that our words carry a vibration. Since our bodies are mainly made out of water, imagine how much our words may affect us. Before I continue, let me just say thank you for even listening to me talk about books. It's just so fun just to talk to you guys about books that interest me. So yeah, man, thank you a lot for being here, honestly.
Weezy out of here. Weezy out of here.
Number 3 is expressing gratitude. The simple art of gratitude has impacted my life in so many ways. I complain less, I'm less mardy, I enjoy every moment with a higher appreciation. In turn, makes me just move joyously through life. At first, you want to be looking for stuff to be grateful for. You want to be counting your blessings daily, but soon enough, you'll naturally become grateful for everything. It's easier to focus on the burdens than the gift, so despite being simple, most people actually struggle with it. But then you realize you can't feel bad while you're also feeling thankful. King adds on to that, saying that you can't be joyous without feeling thankful. So before you can even reach a state of joyousness, you have to be thankful. He studied successful individuals, and one phrase that has stuck with him is "greatness starts with gratitude." King states that by expressing gratitude, you can raise your vibration and make manifesting and the law of attraction easier, being magnetic to good things. But let's not even focus on that. Don't be grateful, don't be thankful for your own gains. King says it's easy to say thanks without really meaning it. He states that the key to showing gratitude is to feeling thankful. Please get to a point where you're grateful for the ability to show appreciation. From there, it gets really beautiful because you're just doing it because you love being thankful. King states that we go through life comparing ourselves to people, so most of us actually overlook what we do have that others may desire. Freedom, not being in a war, having a roof over our heads. When practicing gratitude, imagine how different your life would be without that particular thing you're showing thanks for. I just got out of a relationship, but I'm still in my prayers. I'm still thanking for our time together. I'm still thanking for her energy, her soul, just her vibrance, just her smile. I'm still thankful for all of those, and that I have been blessed with a wonderful soul. So he compares it to one of his clients, Will. After Will easily created a list of all his problems, King asked him what he was thankful for. I can't think of anything. He hesitates. King reminds him, "What about your car?" "Yeah, I'm thankful for my car, I guess," Will replies. This is a nice start to gratitude, but it doesn't really do much. Again, it's easy to say you're thankful rather than to feel it. He then asked Will what it meant if he didn't have his car. "I wouldn't be able to go to work, get groceries, see my friends, and I wouldn't be able to pick up my kids from school." King could see his state changing. They'd have to walk home or take the bus, Will says. Will then imagined his kids walking back in the cold weather, and he knew they'd be unsafe. He became visibly upset as he remembers to back when he was a kid and how he used to get bullied on the bus home. Finally, King could see the relief of Will's face as he thought back to his car and the gifts it brings to his life, the gifts that we tend to overlook. The more you count your blessings, the more blessings you'll have to count.
Sometimes the gangster need a hug. I'ma get all my problems above.
Next up is the importance of positive thinking. Positive thinking is the act of choosing ideas that empower you over those that limit you. I really appreciate this quote, but now I'm really not trying to think as much. Inspired by Eckhart Tolle, I would rather acknowledge thoughts, good or bad, without any judgment. But the way King describes it had made it really clear for me. Analyzing the statement from a logical standpoint, if you view something as negative, how can it also be positive at the same time? Therefore, how can one ever evaluate life as being positive from a negative perception? When thinking, I can't do that, it will discourage me from taking any steps. Whereas a positive thought, such as I can do it, will give me a greater chance of achieving my goal. When you think about it, it's just crazy how this simple readjustment, this one tiny little detail you can change, can impact your life so much. One thought restricts you, while the other one moves you closer to where you want to be. This is where I first read the infamous self-help quote by Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. Oh, babe! Next lesson is meditation. Though meditation is growing in popularity and receiving praise from all directions, from occupational therapists to mainstream media, it's even mentioned in 50 Cent's Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. Similar to 50 Cent, King personally avoided meditation for the reasons of it can be seen as daunting, time-consuming, and overall difficult just to get a grip on. Before, he planned to meditate but never got around to doing it. When he finally began, he found it awkward and was uncertain if he was even doing it right or if he was actually benefiting from it. He then realized he was overcomplicating it. Many people assume that the goal of meditation is to clear the mind of thoughts. But really, it's about concentration, helping you arrive at conscious awareness of the present moment, calmly observing your thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations from a distance without judgment. So this is what I meant earlier about positive thoughts. Instead of forcing yourself to only think positive thoughts and nothing more, you're creating resistance. By looking at all thoughts without judgment, your higher self will see the dysfunction and, in a way, remove it for you. But if you're restricting those thoughts, then you can't actually heal. The great Aaron Doughty says, when you feel, you heal. King then gives a step-by-step guide on how to meditate, but concludes that even just being aware of the breath is a meditation in itself. King further adds that breathing is an important part of life. It's said that with every breath, there's transformation occurring within us. We die and are reborn with every breath. Everything and anything done in a state of consciousness can be a meditation. Even washing up. King suggests to try meditation for 15 minutes a day for 30 days straight. However, I would aim even lower than that. I would say try 5 minutes. You can always find 5 minutes. That's how I got into a consistent practice, by searching 5-minute meditations on YouTube. Again, you can always find 5 minutes, and then eventually I got to a point where I was excited for my next meditation and it just grew from there. I can see the effects it's having on me. Identical situations that would have affected me before, such as smelly Starbucks customers, no longer affects my mood. I could go on about the benefits of meditations, the mental clarity, stillness, calmness it provides, realizing the restricting thoughts that replay over in your mind, but not right now.
I've been searching for love and found less. It's so hard to start holding a grudge.
Number 6 is swapping short-term pleasures for long-term gains. So King reminds us that a healthy balance between living for the moment and investing in the future is always required when you have goals. And this is something I have been struggling with, because it's like, yeah, you want to enjoy the moment, but you want to be investing for the future. Yeah, you want to have that 4th bowl of cereal, but you also want that summer body. So dilemmas, absolute dilemmas. So he relates it back to himself. When working in an office job, every Friday, King would be excited as he knew he was going to celebrate the weekend away from work. He began living for the weekend, wishing away his precious weekdays, his precious time, just so he can reward himself. He'd get intoxicated and spend his hard-earned money in nightclubs. In the moment, when drunk, he'd feel great, but he states that his actions were really saying, "Look at me. I'm working for hours on end in a job I don't really like for someone who doesn't respect me. Therefore, I'm living for the weekend, celebrating my freedom and spending my hard-earned money on overpriced, lethal substances. This way, I can feel good about my life for the moment by escaping the reality I face during the working week." Deep down, he would be wondering when his life would start. He'd always knew there was something much bigger than this. When would life finally resemble his vision of running his own business, following his passion? Like me, and like many of us, King expected it to happen by pure chance. We want to be manifesting, we want to be doing up law of attraction, thinking about what we want, what our goals want, what our better life would be, without actually putting in the work. He would complain that he never had the time or money to pursue his excitement, but in the same breath, he would be spending those exact time and money on leisure activities. In some places, a single glass of alcoholic beverage will cost you more than a book. That line really dropped a seed in me, Which is more likely to change your life? King asks. People invest in the wrong things while unknowingly funding someone else's dream. He concludes that yes, you can enjoy your life and make the most of every moment, but giving up what you want most for what you want right now can really limit you of life's treasures. He believes that everyone is destined for a greater life, but many people aren't willing to delay the brief gratification for the sake of long-term rewards. When you're unwilling to delay temporary pleasures, this can have a massive implication on your future. Looking back at this after I stopped smoking weed, I can relate to this so much more. I would numb myself from the fear of failure, at the same time wondering when my life would actually start. King restates that you are free to make your own decisions, but you can't escape the consequences. Sometimes we have to sacrifice small things to get our hands on the bigger blessings in life. He isn't saying to ignore all urges and to stop having fun, but to be aware of a healthy balance of work and play, while moderating where you're actually placing your time and energy.
Sometimes the gangster need a hug. I'ma get all my problems above.
Finally, the last lesson is faith versus fear. No matter how much you worry, your problem isn't going to improve. Be wiser with your attention and energy. You can only step up in the world once you put your anxieties, fears, and worries under your feet. Both faith and fear ask you to believe in something you can't see. That's absolute fire, bro. When King puts it this way, why not make the active choice of choosing faith? At times, it can be demanding to show faith towards your goals. When fear creeps in and deceives you, King states that fear is a mechanism that helps us avoid physical harm or death, yet we use it to stay comfortable. Using it in the wrong way hinders our progress from reaching our full potential. Fear sets us back in everyday life, forcing us to live in mediocrity. We use our precious time and energy focusing on things that could go wrong instead of having faith on the things that could go right. King compares it to a surgeon without fear is less likely to be hesitant and more focused. Their decision making may be considerably better, resulting in an improved performance. Replacing fear with faith encourages us to explore the realms of possibility. Faith doesn't make things easier, it just makes them possible. When going after your goals, you must have an unwavering faith that can remain steady when challenged by toxic opinions or even unfortunate twist of events. King concludes this chapter, sometimes all we have is our faith. Our faith in the fact that things are going to get better. Hang on to it and keep believing, even if it means that you're the only one who does. What King says here is something I can relate back to 50 Cent's Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. In the book, 50 emphasizes on going against popular beliefs and taking full responsibility of your life. When you identify with a vision that no one else sees and pour your all into it. The overall message I got from these is that I don't need anyone else to believe in me as long as I do.
One of my porns on E. All my bitches got expensive weed.
7 lessons I've learned from Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. Gossiping, the power of words, expressing gratitude, the importance of positive thinking, meditate, swap short-term pleasures for long-term gains, and faith versus fear. I highly recommend this book. It's such an easy read, ideal for non-readers. The chapters are concise and digestible, at the same time filled with so many gems. There are other topics that I didn't mention, such as manifesting, increasing vibration, and restricting beliefs, but I'd rather you read it in Vex King's words. As always, thank you for listening. I love talking to you, especially about things I'm passionate about books, about high vibrations, about frequency vibrations and all of that jazz. I really appreciate it. I have so much fun talking to you guys, and just the fact that you're here, thank you. And until next time, love.
Keep it real, the street show you no love.